morning. Looks like it's a beautiful Tuesday here in the market. 23rd of September, me versus me. And what did I learn yesterday? Let's head on to the market. So yesterday, I learned that in trend, even in all-time highs, execute your edge confidently. So that was my edge yesterday. I could see that the market was on a buy trend. I was not concerned that this was going to be the major stop. I was slightly concerned, so that's why I waited for the price to attempt to come back, which it didn't. It continued pushing past, and then it formed London, and then we went for the trade. So there was two good trades yesterday, and now we're here into Monday, and it's 10:37. This candle will land anywhere here or here, and then we'll formulate our next trade. So what did I learn yesterday? I learned that coming back to the market and just focusing on my inputs was always better. I was actually asleep for most of this trade. I think the profit side of this trade, I was asleep after it went to drawdown and then went to break even. And after it started floating into profits, I was like, it's good, I can go to sleep. Either way, I hit a TP or an SL. It's unlikely I was going to get triggered out for an exit loss because everything is pointing up. So I was content with what I had yesterday. So let's go back to the scoring. 93 and 83 yesterday. So today we have not done our meditation. We did everything in the morning, but we got sucked into paperwork. So now we are here. Trading terminal check. I did that already this morning. The terminal actually came back online during the stream. Actually, the internet came back during the stream. And I wasn't aware. And after I closed the stream, I realized everything was on. So that's why I was a bit gutted that I didn't take the Asia trade. But being a man of processes, I was impartial to my decision. It was the decision of the process, and when the process didn't allow, that's what I got. So today we're in the market pre-session, and let's look into a little bit of psychology and mindset, emotion and stress level. Today is the 23rd of September. It's coming to the end of the month. In terms of cash flow wise, we're still kind of tight, but that's not gonna impact the way I'm taking the trades. I am slightly aware of the the cash flow cycle coming back into play, but we have a plan in place. We're aware of what we're doing here and outside. So as long as the kids are in school, my stress levels are pretty in check. One boy is here at home. We'll send him off to school for afternoon. Other than that, we're good. Affirmation on my edge. It's a trending market. What kind of edge is there? Is a trending edge. You only get caught in the retracements. So that's something I want to look out for today, is being aware of retracements, being cautious of that and not getting hit in the retracements. Balance and patient, that's always in play when we're focused on the process. Detachment from the outcome. In a buy trend, I can only take buys. Not even currently in Asia, there is no sell signal, so it's going to be a buy, and I don't foresee a sell signal forming before London. And should one form before London, we will reevaluate before London. But again, today is largely a buy day, and should the price retrace and takes us out, it is the outcome of a buy in a retracement. C-game trigger, I think there shouldn't be any today. One could be the hesitancy to go into Asia and delay everything into London, and vice versa. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. Maybe I should just let it flow. But yeah, not thinking about a lot of overtrading as well recently. So I haven't been mentioning a lot of overtrading recently. But these are the C-game triggers that I've known myself to be with. So with the distraction removed, let's head on to our financial forecasting. Financial forecasting, macam lah, pandai sangat. We're only gonna forecast whether the price is gonna move up or down now or later. For Asia, I'm looking for 168 pips. For London, I'm looking for 194. So it's gonna be a bigger range in London than Asia. 168 would drop us to the level of that high from previous day. And it's gonna be land around the yellow mark. So that's gonna be sort of like the mean reversion move before the continuation of the trend. So that's my concern about taking the Asia buy. Going upwards, just a wick back to the top and slightly more would be fine. So with these two things in mind, I would much rather allow the price to come back for a bit before going upwards, because it's been now over a day and a half, nearly 2 days, that it hasn't contacted my aqua line. And that doesn't happen all too often. And usually after it touches, something will happen. So I'm counting on that behavior to give me something to work with later. And should the price just continue again, we will reposition the price in London. Today we're at a buyer, we're deferring to London. Reason being, I don't see enough confirmation of the upwards, not even in M30. There is one confirmation, depends on where this candle lands. And should it land above, then we will have another line for the price to climb into. So that is why I'm deferring to London. Although, let's argue for the yes case. For the yes case, it would just be very much like yesterday. You're buying into all-time highs. You don't see the next resistance. There are, you can measure it, but in this setup, there isn't. And it's only just one range. So the next range is going to be 1680 something, which is just going to be slightly higher than today's high. So that would be the argument for the other way. So I'm going to take a call, and my decision is to only interact after at least the aqua line has been hit, ideally with the yellow line as well in H1. In M30, we see that they are interacting here now. But should the second interaction happen, it should be around the magenta line here in M30. And that would be somewhere I would rather take the buy from, especially after it forms the upwards, a little W, and then we go back up. Of course, it can still form a sort of like slanted W, a diagonal W going here, but I don't think I'll be very interested in that. I'd much rather price congregate with the 9 and then make its next decision after. I think I've talked a bit long about the price movement now. So let's head back to the scorecard. We're going for London. Setup. We know the A+ plan. We visualize the outcomes, and even when the price runs, we're okay with it, as we were yesterday, and we are quite in sync with the process. So today's session is about 8 minutes, about 10 minutes long. I'm gonna leave you to your day after this. So it's a slow start to the week. It feels slow, but then again, we're only looking for about 3 to 4 wins a week. So we've got one down, we got 2 or 3 more to go. And ideally, we want to skip the week, go through the week without a loss. And it is very possible, should we select the right buyers and avoid the incorrect trades. We can do our preparation, but we're going to leave the outcome to the market and to the greater public. That is it from me today. Lots of growth, me versus me, signing out.